Mama put my guns in the ground. I can't shoot them anymore.
Hey guys, Youngblood Fantasy 92 here. Music these days has approached a glass ceiling. A very, very apparent glass ceiling. Let me be perfectly honest. Music these days sucks shit. And I say this because of this bare fact. People have no clue where their music comes from. Some dumbasses firmly believe classic rock either never existed or did nothing to progress music further. Let me tell you something. You wouldn't have your precious Jonas Brothers or your mediocre alternative music overpopulated by crappy genres if we didn't have the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, or The Who to thank. Thank these people for upping the bass, trying new instruments, and furbishing their songwriting. Without them, music would be nothing today. But I sadly digress, as the people who are watching this are more than likely to not give a fuck. Basically, as I have mentioned many times before, music sucks these days. But today, I won't be telling off the Jonas Brothers, Hannah Montana, the Disney Destroyers, and alternative styles because of what they do is inferior. No, today I will be telling off the Jonas Brothers, Hannah Montana, the Disney Destroyers, and alternative styles because of their half-assed ways of trying to relive the past. Yes, today, ladies and gentlemen, I will discuss cover songs. Now, let's be perfectly honest here. Not all cover songs should rot in the musical hell from whence they came. There are some cover songs which have been done with some goddamn effort, people, and which has received much acclaim from the fans. Further still, these very same cover songs were the reason the band became popular in the first place. Let's go through some examples, shall we? Van Halen is a classic example. They covered the Kinks' You Really Got Me, which was a triumph from their part. They also covered Roy Orbison's Pretty Woman with wonderful accuracy. Black Sabbath, in the beginning of their musical careers, covered blues songs from lesser-known bands such as Warning and Evil Woman. Cream covered Skip James with I'm So Glad, and they also covered a traditional song, Crossroads, previously arranged by Robert Johnson. We can't forget Deep Purple either. They covered Joe South with the song Hush from their first album, Shades of Deep Purple. Steve Miller actually covered Paul Pino with the song Jet Airliner. And of course, we can't forget the best cover ever made, in my humble opinion. Joe Cocker's version of With a Little Help from My Friends from the Beatles was a remarkable triumph on his part. It is very catchy, and the song itself sounded totally original. A smashing success by Joe Cocker on his part. But sadly, the covers that I have mentioned were all from classic rock artists. Why this strange trend? Because they knew what the fuck they were doing. They knew the roots and their idols, and they didn't try to dilute them. They remade them into their style. They put effort, people, in their songwriting and what they did, which made their cover songs excellent to listen to. In this age of music mediocrity, artists try to be something that they are clearly not. They are not rock and roll artists who will carve a place in the musical culture. They will be a forthcoming fad and dissolve as fast as they goddamn came. This is why I label the Jonas Brothers posers, because they are trying to be rock and roll artists when they are pop artists, and they know damn well they are. They are trying to be something the fans want them to be, and not what they themselves want to be. That's because Disney encourages this fucking nonsense. Disney artists' only purpose for being is to please the low expectations of their fans, and not try to fulfill their own creativity, if they have any. This is why they resort to crappily covering great hits from the classic rock era. Let's take a look at some examples, shall we? First, we have Hilary Duff, who starred in Lizzie McGuire, which I have never watched, and was a fad many years ago. Anyway, Hilary Duff had the fucking audacity to cover The Who, poorly. She didn't just cover The Who, she covered The Who like shit. And worst of all, she had to cover My Generation, one of my favorite Who songs. Don't believe me? Listen to this.
People try to put us down just because we could get around. Things they do look awful cold. Hope I don't die before I get old.
Die before I get old.
Isn't it tragic? The very sound pierces my eardrums, and the lyric changes don't help either. If you want to represent your idols, don't make them look like pussies, okay? Next, we have to move on to the Jonas Brothers, obviously. I have already mentioned that they have covered Hello Goodbye, and for that I will never forgive them. However, they managed to further ruin the Beatles by covering the classic song Hey Jude. Here, just watch the damn thing.
sing this. Ready? Hey Jude. Come on!
Really effing nice to skip half the fucking song, douchebags. It would be nice if you guys could cover effectively, but leaving half the song out would only satisfy your laundry list of fangirls wishing they were married to you guys. Thank you for screwing up the song so that no one can truly understand it. I congratulate you. For the love of God, will these people ever realize that they are not the Beatles? And last, but by no means least, let's take a look at Lady Gaga, or should I say, Lady Butchering Queen, and there's nothing you can do about it. Before she became a bona fide slut, she was a regular recording artist in the beginning. But she had the violent nerve and the lack of any faculties to cover Led Zeppelin with failure. Take a look. Way to totally mess up Dear Maker there, Lady Queen Butcher. I'm sure the Zepp fans appreciate dicing up the song and screwing up the arrangement. Although the drumming wasn't too terrible in that clip. Still, that guy ain't no John Bonham. And these aren't isolated examples. They keep appearing everywhere you look. I have a story to back this up. I remember going to a boardwalk with some friends. One of them connects her iPod to the speakers of the car, and then she selects the song. At first, the song sounded familiar, but that was when I realized that this was a motherfucking cover! And it was a total garbage! I didn't know the artist, I didn't know who did it, but somehow, this asshole managed to destroy the song Breakfast in America by Supertramp. Does anyone know the cover I'm referring to? If you do, congratulations, leave your angry comments below. But still, that was a terrible cover. They did no justice to Supertramp other than to either mock them or debase their musical talent. If you listen to Supertramp's catalog, you would understand, especially their 1979 album Breakfast in America. But this artist had the nerve to screw up the song beyond any recognition. You'd swear it sounded like a bad version of Soulja Boy mixed in with the Supertramp-like keyboard in the background. Look, I appreciate the fact that you artists like to cover classic rock, or successful artists that came before you. But you have to understand, without effort, your covers are total shit. If we have to hear recycled techno sounds mixed in with the song that was supposed to apply to hard rock or metal to begin with, then we may have a slight problem. It is important to not only pay homage to the artist, but appreciate the artist, because for what it's worth, these previous artists took plenty of time to come up with their classic rock gold. And I don't think rapping over an original track of the song will do them much justice. Just try to figure out your own way to cover without totally revamping the song, unless if you're Joe Cocker, then you can do that. Well, folks, that's the end of my vicious tirade. I won't curse this much in the future. Promise. This is Youngblood Fantasy 92, and ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you next time.